Namaste. So, after a gap of some time because of too many things happening during Sri Aurobindo's 150th birth anniversary, too many webinars and many things. So, we had taken a break from prayers and meditations, which we had anyways decided to continue. So, after a long time, let us restart from where we had left. So we had done all the prayers till the mother's coming and meeting Sri Aurobindo, and even a few prayers after that. So we'll take up today one prayer. And the prayer is dated May 17th, 1914. O Lord, deliver me from the mental influences which weigh on me, so that completely free I may dart towards Thee. Mental influences. So much we are filled with all kinds of information. And as if that is not enough, we have good friends who give more and more information. So at the end of the day, our mind is stuffed with, packed with information, and we don't know how to convert it into knowledge. That's one of the biggest problems we have. Somebody has said, where is the knowledge lost in information? And we can add, where is the wisdom lost in knowledge? So, these influences weigh upon us, they prevent us from going straight to the divine. If somebody could see actually with the occult vision, you will see them as swarm of flies moving around the head. All kinds of things one will see. But of course there are heads which are quiet and clear. There you will see them like birds flying up. Beautiful image. But generally like flies hovering around. So she is praying to the mother. The mother is teaching us how to pray. So one of the prayers, see what all kinds of things we pray for. This is the thing to be prayed for. And the divine will do it for us. Free me of all these mental influences. So this is one of the things necessary for yoga. And then she reveals a profound truth. O thou universal being, supreme unity in perceptible form. So this is the, when you see the divine in his divine form, what do we see? Not just a form, but a form that contains all forms and all the worlds within itself. That is the vision of the Gita. Supreme unity in perceptible form. So it is not just a form which we see, but a form that contains the worlds. So she is saying, universal being, supreme unity in perceptible form, by an irresistible aspiration I nestled in thy heart. Who would not want to nestle in that heart of supreme love? Because it's a heart where unity is the way of being. To nestle in the heart of the divine is to live in the consciousness of unity. You just can't be otherwise. No division, no divisive forces can ever enter there. It's the heart, and this, incidentally, is the supramental being, if you want to put it like that. Supramental being, supramental consciousness is the consciousness of perfect unity, where you have at once unity and diversity. So she is praying, I nestled in thy heart, then I was thy heart itself. And I know that thy heart is no other than the child that plays and creates the worlds. Now we understand what is the story of Krishna. Bal Gopal. Who is God? Sri Aurobindo says in one of the aphorisms, he is an eternal child playing in the eternal garden. Only we don't know how to play with him. And he wants to teach us the one rule of this game, that there is no rule. Sounds very shocking. There is no rule. There is freedom in the play. But now comes the catch. Our mind cannot live in that vastness and freedom. It will get completely lost. So it needs rules. So rules are made for us to grow towards freedom. See the paradox? Rules are made. See in near real life, when a child is born, you can see that recreated. Does the child has rules? It doesn't even have a rule that, if I drop down 2 feet, I'll get hurt. It has no rules. But in our present state, it will lead to a very destructive anarchy. So, to help us grow individually, it's like ice cream being put in a mold. So, separate molds. This butterscotch, this is choco chips, this is mango. So now there is the limitation. So how are rules created? By certain limitations. And those limitations are necessary for progress, but only to discover the original freedom. In the beginning, there is freedom. That's why it's called chaos. There is no order in the atoms. Go to subatomic particles, you'll see that state. You just can't understand what determines. Then comes this determinations, long chain. It becomes more and more rigid. As the mind comes in, it makes it even more rigid. So you tell somebody, "Nahi, you don't need techniques, you just need love in the heart." Arey, all this is very fine. People ask questions, "Sir, aise thodi hota hai. There must be a method." So I say, if you want a method, take a method. So people want all that because it's so difficult for mind cannot. Thus this idea is so difficult to even conceive. Forget this idea of freedom. Just imagine endless space stretching into boundlessness. So difficult. So mind must bring those rules. But if you ask the divine, he says, okay, which way you want the rules? So you decide. So we say, I want the rule that life should be like this, like this, like this. I want this, this, this. He says, okay, we'll play by these rules. At the end, he will take you to that point where you say, no, you decide. So, when you say that you decide for me, then rules vanish. Then it takes us through freedom, from freedom to greater freedom. This is called freedom from ignorance. As long as we are in ignorance, we need rules. So that is the game. 2 children are playing. One is the divine, and the other is the psychic being in evolution. So she discovers in the heart the eternal child. Your heart is nothing. Always full of wonder, full of joy, felicity, divine simplicity, love. That's what the divine is in the heart. Not what we have made of him. So complicated, so Shat Darshan, 6 systems of philosophy. My God. Poor divine must be wondering, am I Dvaita? Am I Advaita? Am I Visishta Advaita? Am I Dvaita Advaita? Am I this religion? Am I that religion? What have you people made of me? Why don't you just play with me? There is the story of Sri Aurobindo, a dream, where we see Hari Mohan saying, what is this world God has made? Look at Tin Kodi Seal. He is such a nasty fellow, but he is having a 3-storied building. And I don't even have the next meal properly, though I pray to him every day. If I meet Kesta, I will tie his hands and give him a nice beating. Kesta is Sri Krishna. He appears and says, yes, I am there. Who are you? Are you called me? No, I didn't mean it that way. No, I love it. You made me real. Otherwise, everybody puts me on pedestal, puts me all these malas, all this. You made me feel like I am real. Give me the beating. No, that's not the point. You see, why have you done this and that? He said, okay, you want? Come, let's come together, we'll play. Where we'll play? We'll go to his house. So Hari Mohan says, why are you? You are a trickster, why are you carrying me? What fate I will meet, I know. Have you seen those mustanda, those muscle man? standing at the door. He says, you don't worry, I have entered every door. And then he takes him to this man's inner being, which is so much burning with all kinds of things, jealousies, fears, passions. And he says, take me out, take me out. He says, this is the man you were envying. And so on and so forth. It's a wonderful story. So he's an eternal child. And he plays, he creates. It's so beautiful. That is the image of the divine in the heart. And I know that thy heart is no other than the child that plays and creates the world. So should we forever remain there? No. The child, Vrindavan is fine. But there is also Kurukshetra. So the eternal child takes the form of Kalosmi. Lok Chaykrat Pravaddho. So she says, thou saidst to me, one day thou shalt be my head, but for the moment turn thy look towards the earth. It says, one day you will be there. When you are in my heart, you will know everything. No knowledge can... You play with the child and grow one with the child. You know everything that a child... when you play hide and seek, after some time, you know all the hiding places. No fun. So he will know all the secret. That's what is meant by being in my head. That is the crown of everything. The crown is for those who live in the heart of the divine. But for the moment, you turn to earth. This is the command she has been given. And on the earth now I am the joyful child at play. All those who are realized, generally one of the signs is that they love to be with children. They play with children. They have a wonderful sense of humor. See, people, quite a few even, that child who used to play in Sri Aurobindo's lap. Sri Aurobindo had named her Aurobindo Bala. Nalnita, Champak Lalji. Even there were children who would pull at his beard. Can you imagine somebody doing that? Mothers lie, it'll look at him. But for others it was Champak Lalji, my God, his body glue and was glowing with what light and ears like a lion. But the moment child would go, you will see him change. Suddenly, everything will change. Such a smile and such. So this is the real reality of the divine. As a child he plays. And when you play with the divine, there is nothing to worry, nothing to fear. But what does he want? He wants us to turn to earth. So she says, I am upon earth, therefore, but I am joyous, playing with the child. Then this earth changes. It's no more a battlefield, but a playfield of the Lord. Such were the two sentences I wrote yesterday by sort of absolute necessity. The first, as if the power of the prayer would be complete only if it was written on paper. There is a great merit in writing prayers because it concretizes it. When the prayer is all in the head or just the heart, it has not yet taken a concrete form. Anything actually, spoken and written, becomes concrete. So that's why Sri Aurobindo would not generally predict, and even the predictions were very indirect. Because he said, the moment I say, he could foresee. Now we know that all that he had foreseen, now it's coming true. But he would tell it in a way which was like a subtle hint, because people asked him. He said, well, I know, but if I speak, all these forces will rush to destroy it, because you have made it concrete. Once a thing has gone on the paper, have you noticed this feature? I don't know why it is not there in email. When you send an email, you can't delete it. WhatsApp, till the person has seen, delete for everyone. Thank God. Bhej diya, then you realize, no. So you delete. Then there is a problem. There is also bad manners. The person will ask that, kya delete kiya? So you must write below, sorry, by mistake or whatever. So the moment a thing is manifested in the material world, it becomes concrete and established. As long as it's in the subtle thing, it's okay. So wait for it. Let it become more and more clear. Then you express it. So she says the prayer would be incomplete till it is expressed on paper. Also, if we see, this is a very beautiful way of engaging in yoga, even picking up a prayer or a passage and then writing it, because it is going through all the channels and ultimately manifesting through the karmendriya. So there is a joy in the prayer in the heart, there is a joy when the prayer is spoken, and there is a joy when the prayer is written. So she says the first, as if the power of the prayer would be complete only if it was written on prayer. The second, as if the stability of the experience could be secured only when I should have relieved my brain from it by noting it in writing. So she is giving us a wonderful clue again, that otherwise the experience tends to vanish. It's still in the worlds where it is flying around. So, not to just read a prayer or something. It's very good to practice this, writing a prayer. It's as such, it's something general. She has said that several times. And she is showing it by her own experience, that so many kinds of communication she would receive. But some of them she has noted down. In any case, she has noted most of her prayers. Though this book contains only 1/5. 4/5 of the prayers were torn and burnt away. She didn't want anybody to, because they were such truths which, humanity is not ready. So we'll read it again. May 17th, 1914. O Lord, deliver me from the mental influences which weigh on me, so that completely free I may dart towards thee. So this is one of the ways of getting rid of the mental influences also. All that is happening inside. Note it down. One of the ways Mother used to say, write it, and then you either burn it or tear it. Here it's in a different context, but it works because you have crystallized it, now you can act upon it. One of the ways. Another way is write it, keep it at her feet. After 1 week, you can discard it. So, she is praying that deliver me from these mental influences. Now she is addressing her state, describing her state. O thou, universal being, supreme unity in perceptible form, by an irresistible aspiration I nestle in thy heart. Irresistible aspiration, to be in the heart of the Lord. And then I was thy heart itself. See the difference between nestling in the heart and becoming one with the heart. And I knew that thy heart is no other than the child that plays and creates the worlds. The child that plays and creates this world. So many stories come to mind of mother playing with the children. She used to play all kinds of games. Flower games, write a sentence with the flowers. Then chocolate she would, give and throw, and people, tennis. And few understood that this is not just a game, but a lot is happening. Why? Because behind every stroke, there was a transaction of energy and a release of certain energies in the environment. So the divine is the child playing under different masks. Sometimes the mask is terrible. Still, it is the child who is playing inside. So we should live with that consciousness. Thou saidst to me, one day thou wilt be my head, but for the moment turn thy look towards the earth. And on the earth now I am the joyful child at play. One big advantage, you don't have responsibilities in the head when you are a child. You are playing, and through play you are working, growing, everything. Such were the two sentences I wrote yesterday by a sort of absolute necessity. The first, as if the power of the prayer would be complete only if it was written on paper. The second, as if the stability of the experience could be secured only when I should have relieved my brain from it by noting it in writing.